Hey everybody, it is Chuck Barone, and we haven't even started this week yet, and we're already off and running with crazy. Monday, May the 6th, 2024. As always, before I get rolling here, I got a lot today, guys. Let me give you guys just a shout out to all my friends, Attila and Salty and Big Smoke and Darren and all the guys on the live chat. Nice to see everybody coming along. As always, I just want to welcome everybody to the show and thank every one of you guys, really, for your support for the show, for showing up to watch these live, to showing up, watching the videos, your likes and comments. Guys, it means the world, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about these markets today. Markets continuing a little bit of a run. They're all that fired up because Powell said the next move is likely not going to be a rate hike. So they took that, Ghazi, they took that one little sentence out of everything he said, and that's what they're running with. It's crazy. That is not a reason to buy stocks. You're hoping for a rate cut? Really? What if you don't get it? What if it happens way later than you think? What if by chance you get bad economic news and they have to hike rates? Because I'm telling you guys, that's not completely impossible, right? Now we know that's not what they want to do, okay? But it seems likely they're going to do what they have to do because they kind of have been so far. Hey, Greg. All right, so let's talk about markets. Stock market today, great day, up across the board day. They're saying it's the best 3 day. Hey, Elevate, touchdown, Tommy. Um, Best 3 day run for the S&P so far this year. So the Dow up 176 points, 38,852 on the Dow. The Nasdaq runs up 192 points, 16,349. The S&P up another 52 points, 5,180. I'm telling you guys, 50-point moves are not the norm on the S&P. So these are big numbers and a big rally for stocks. Now let's see how long this rally can sustain itself, right? Because it seems like any little bit of bad news, boom, it just turns around on a dime. The bond market was a little bit different today, kind of mixed in a weird day. The 10-year rallies up just a little bit, so the yield falls 1 basis point, 4.49% on the 10. The 2-year falls and yields up a little bit, up 3 basis points, 4.84% on the 2-year. So that was really a more normal day in the bond market. Um, Quiet day. The 2-year spiking up, so interesting. Um, if that gets and stays above 5, that's going to be a turning point for rates. We'll see though. It was above 5. It was at 504. Now it's down 20 basis points from there. We'll see how this plays out. The dollar today, really pretty much nothing. Up 3 basis points on the index. 105.11 for the dollar. Still a good strong number, but no real news there. Precious metals had a good day today in spite of the dollar being up. Silver or gold rallies up $23.10. Another good day for gold. Now at $2,325.30 for an ounce of gold. Silver rallies up 88 cents, $27.40 for an ounce of silver. So a good solid day. Um, a good solid day for precious metals today. Hey, Jordan. Oil today rallies up a little bit, up 57 cents per barrel, $78.68 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. It's on its way. I'm telling you, it's not going to go straight back down, but I'm telling you guys, it really seems, if you read the charts and you look at where it's just been and where it seems like it wants to be, 70 to 75 for oil, I'm telling you, it's going to get back there. Bitcoin today falls $340 last time I looked, 63,357 for Bitcoin. So now we got the big question, is the worst over for Bitcoin? Was that kind of that sell-off? Was that the end of it? Is it rally time? I'm sure Chinese ETFs are starting to get involved here, helping support the price. Going to be interesting stuff today. All right. As I do every Monday, let's talk about the data we're going to get this week, what we can expect. Very quiet week this week, guys. Monday, we get zip. Tomorrow, we'll get consumer credit numbers. Consumer credit's expected to be up 15 billion freaking dollars last month. So consumers continuing to whack that plastic credit card, just stupid. Okay. On Wednesday, we'll get wholesale inventories, which surprisingly are expected to fall. Thursday, we'll get a report on short sellers. Of course, we'll get our jobless claims. You want to laugh? You know what number they're expecting, guys? 212,000. Remember, I was telling you guys that 5 out of 6 weeks, the claims number was 212,000. People started noticing that, right? And now they're actually putting in print that they expect that number on Thursday. And on Friday, we will get the University of Michigan, which is a big one. We'll see how where consumers are at mentally at the University of Michigan. We'll also get deficit information. The U.S. is actually expected to have a surplus because it's April tax month. So we won't get any big deficit news, but we know exactly what they're doing as far as the deficit goes. $1 trillion freaking dollars every 90 days. All right, now I'm going to get into a little bit of a pissy rant here because, well, let me start with this. I was reading this quote today. You guys, I'm sure most of you are familiar with Ayn Rand, a brilliant, brilliant woman, smart woman. I don't agree with everything, but very clever woman and a great writer. Listen to this quote from her and tell me, does this feel to you like where we are here in the United States right now? Listen to this, guys. When you notice that to produce, you need to get permission from those who do not produce anything. When you check that money flows to those who do not deal with goods, but with favors. When you realize that many become rich by bribery and influence more than by work, and that the laws do not protect you against them, but on the contrary, they are the ones who are protected against you. When you discover that corruption is rewarded and honesty becomes a self-sacrifice, then you can assert, without fear of being wrong, that your society is doomed. Jesus, man. That is a scary ass proposition right there, because you can see it all in our society today. So the only thing that's not happening in that phrase in our society today is the doom part. At least we don't have the final doom yet. It certainly seems like we are on a path to doom, right? But we're not quite there yet. All right. So let me talk about my headline today. It is freaking madness, nuts, stupid, crazy, lunacy, any word you can think of for sheer dumbassery. Okay. The US is now on our national debt, this 34 trillion. And I was trying to give you guys some perspective between millions and billions, remember, with the stack of dollar bills. $1 million bills is like 300 and something yards, and a billion ones is 67 miles. Crazy. Now we're trillion time. Listen to this. Our $34 trillion national debt, to pay the interest on that debt, is now costing the United States of America $2 million per minute. $2 million per minute. That's what it takes to maintain payments on our national debt. Is this just madness? That's the word that keeps coming into my head. It's the act of a crazy, either not person here, because it's not one person making that decision, but a collective madness of our entire society. $2 million in interest per minute. Here's a news flash. We don't have $2 million per minute. So chances are we're borrowing money to pay the interest on the money we already owe. It's freaking craziness. Okay. Now, who do you think right now is the biggest cheerleader for rate cuts? Because these higher rates are just killing the Treasury. The payments of interest that we're making today are more than double what they were before the Fed started hiking rates. So that shows you the effect of compounding debt and higher rates. $2 million a minute, man. It's just fucking crazy. Okay. The US this year will pay more than 1 trillion freaking dollars in interest alone. Now, here's what makes me lose my mind. Okay. What did we get for $34 trillion, guys? What did we get? Do we have an amazing infrastructure? Do we have the best technology? How about our retirement programs or our health care? How about, I mean, look at pretty much anything. More private doings in space than NASA's doing, right? I asked ChatGPT, what are some things the federal government could do with $1 trillion? Okay. ChatGPT came up with all kinds of stuff. $1 trillion could be invested in infrastructure, high speed rail, things to make our travel in this country, transportation better. Not doing it. We could be boosting education, getting a handle on some of these freaking dumbass colleges and what the hell they're doing. But not only that, improving education in the states, especially the states that need it, like Nevada, number 49 in the country, right? We could be doing space exploration. We could be doing more research and development for medications, for space travel, for solving pollution problems, for farming, for producing food, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. The things that we could be doing with 1 trillion freaking dollars. Sadly, we aren't going to be doing those things. The people that are lending us the money are. They're going to be the ones who are going to take our $1 trillion, and what are they going to do with it? They're going to invest in their societies. They're going to invest in their infrastructure, their health care, all of their good things that help a society become a better society. What are we spending? What do we get for 34 trillion, man? Besides a gigantic freaking military. But really, what else? What else? Are our cities doing great? What is it makes me want to pull my freaking hair out, guys. It's a path, the road to perdition, pathway to hell. We're on it, and we're just, not only are we on that path, we're running full speed on that path. And the sad part is, our imbeciles in Washington, what are they focused on? Raising money for their elections, infighting over the Speaker of the House, guns or prostitution or abortion or the Supreme Court or any other distraction of madness. While at the same time, $2 million a minute goes in the shitter. Job growth. You guys saw this today? Job growth is good, creating a lot of jobs. Here's the bad news. Those jobs are crap. They're all low-paying jobs. Most of the jobs in the service sector, fast food, restaurant work, the lower rungs of healthcare, these are not super good, high-paying jobs. So what they keep pounding us on is this number of jobs, trying to create the illusion that the economy is really doing good. No, what's happening is these are the jobs that are churny, that are turnovery. Okay. It's just more smoke and bullshit. Okay. To cover up the disaster that these retards were creating. excuse me for using language that may not be perfectly acceptable to some people. But this is something that's just, I mean, you look at this and just take a second and really look at this. It's madness is the word that keeps coming to me. So anyway, so we got $2 million a minute going out in debt. We got a fake job market that's all just, I mean, let's face it, guys, they're not hiring white collar people. They're not, the manufacturing guys aren't hiring, skilled producers. What we're getting is a lot of busboys and orderlies. Wonderful. This was interesting. Americans now sitting on $11 trillion in home equity. $11 trillion in home equity. So that's where the bulk of the middle and underclass, that's where the bulk of their wealth is. Here's what's interesting about equity in your house. It's not like having $11 trillion in the stock market or in a savings account or in CDs or in money market or in anything else. If you want to access your $11 trillion, you have two ways to do it. The first way is to sell your house. Okay, is this an environment for selling houses in? You might be great for selling it. Not so great on the other side where you got to find some place to live, right? The other alternative is borrow against your equity. Create a payment with interest. Imagine if you told you got a $100,000 CD at the bank. Imagine if they told you rather than cashing that CD out, you could borrow against it and pay them some interest for it. It's lunacy, guys. So $11 trillion in basically locked up assets that are not going to do anything to help the middle class in their struggles. And even if they were readily available, would probably likely get squandered, right? Americans feeling very negative about interest rates. Americans are actually expecting mortgage rates over the next 3 years to go higher than 10%. Could you imagine, man? 10% mortgages. They're actually expecting mortgage rates over the next year to go higher than 8.5%. So does that square with rate cuts by the Fed, with what the stock market's doing today? The consumer, the people that don't buy stocks, feeling pretty negative about rates. 8.5 in a year, 10.5 within 3 years. Really? Could you imagine what that would do to the real estate market? The only people who'd be able to buy houses at rates like that would be cash buyers. Madness. Couple quickies before I go today. You guys hear about these drug shortages? Bad things happening. Cancer drugs, diabetes drugs, some of the most popular and most prescribed drugs, big shortages. They're actually cutting people's chemo off because of shortages of these drugs. So make sure if you have some kind of illness, if you're dealing with a medical issue, talk to your doctor. Make sure that whatever drug you're taking is not in short supply, is not a threat of being in short supply. And if it is, try to stock up. Also, if you guys are living in Texas, I don't know how many of you, where all of you guys are. I know it's all over the freaking world, you guys. But if you're living in Texas, be very, very cautious over the next couple of days. They're expecting a pretty massive storm in Texas featuring tornadoes and, get this, the phrasing, giant hail. Giant hail. Now, we've seen some of the pictures of the hailstorms recently in Texas, smashing windows out in parking lots. When I pictured giant hail, I pictured the movie Day After Tomorrow, where the hail was actually killing people in the street. If you're out there, be very, very careful with giant hail. Anyway, guys, that's it for the day. I went way too freaking long as usual, but I love you guys and I want to give you the details. Be back tomorrow, bring you the news you need. Please, guys, hit the like button. It changes the algorithms around. It gets our video out in front of more people. We've been really doing well getting our views out there, getting more views to the show. It's all because of you guys. We appreciate it. Hit like. I will be in the comments tonight. If you guys got anything to say, some fun, anything interesting, I'll be rapping with you guys in comments. Be back again tomorrow, guys. Love you all. Till then, tomorrow.